And a great big hey, howdy, hey to all my goofy goobers out there. Welcome back to Animanic Commentaries with Kamikaze.
And EF.
And a nice little farm town southern drawl, because tonight we's gonna be watching Rock-A-Doodle-Doo. A Rock-A-Doodle from 1991 from Don Bluth and company. Boy, this, oh boy. So, actually kind of just like last week, I literally just got done watching it. But unlike last week, I actually saw it through to the end. Well, it's definitely better than last week in terms of being a musical, but also worse at the same time, which I'll understand, which I will get to you as we go in. But honey, what's your familiarity with this picture?
It's one of those many movies that I used to rent again and again.
Yeah.
You know, as a kid, I'm like, oh, this is really fun. And then as an adult, I'm like, damn, this is kind of screwed up in some places.
It's weird. It's nutty.
And apparently, this is the watered down version.
Yes, evidently, much like All Dogs Go to Heaven, there were some cuts made. But unlike All Dogs Go to Heaven, some of the cuts made and choices made in the edits actually kind of upset the story flow, like a lot.
Yeah, like the narration.
The narration
was apparently added last minute because test audiences did not understand what was going on.
Phil Harris, God rest his soul, but they have him talk over the musical numbers most of the time. And it's like, no!
Yeah.
How am I supposed to understand the story if the emotional beats of the characters are pretty much drowned out?
Yeah. Yeah, it helps in the beginning, I suppose, but yeah, well, you'll see.
Yeah, at the start of the film, there's fine, and then maybe have him cut in, like, once or twice when it's pertinent. But, like, for the most part, they really should just leave the narration the narration should have been left on the cutting room floor. Like, why did this, like, oh, test audiences were confused. Yeah, because the movie's kind of all over the place on its own. Mm-hmm. But, like, you could just let it be all over the place, you know? Like, it's not as confusing as you think. The print I have has the current MGM logo. That is actually true for my copy, too. That's basically box standard for the Blu-ray modern copy. I don't agree it's all bad. I don't think it's all bad either. I'm gonna get into some stuff that I actually liked, like, as we go along. For one of them being the animation, because it's Don Bluth, it's good animation. In some places, maybe a little overacting, even for animation. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, this film's actually pretty reserved in that regard. It's more the content of the film that's bizarre. So I suppose I shouldn't beat around the bush any longer. We should go ahead and get on down to the farm so everyone gets it. Yeah. So everyone get ready for synchronization.
So for background context, this is based on one of the Canterbury Tales. Obviously it didn't have rock and roll because, you know, Canterbury Tales, medieval times. Mm-hmm. And it was something that Don Bluth pitched to Disney, but they didn't like the idea.
That's true. That is absolutely true. This is one of those things that was left on the cutting room floor for Disney. Honestly, it's not like Bluth did much better on his own with this picture.
Well, it came out the same year as Beauty and the Beast.
And the production troubles with the film certainly didn't help, like, you know, the flow. Nevertheless.
He definitely did not like doing the live action directing in here.
Yeah. Well, as far as everyone is concerned, if you're set for synchronization, everybody keep an eye on your opening logos and whatnot. But if it makes it any easier, go ahead and skip straight to the Nebula Starfield, and that'll be what you'll want to link up with, or to the title. So everyone get ready. We're going to go ahead and get started from the beginning of my copy in a 3, 2, 1, and begin. Here's that new MGM.
I will say, knowing all the rock and roll stuff that happened in the late 80s, from Rock and Roll to Barbie and the Rockers, I think Don Bluth was piggybacking up with that.
Honestly, that's not even a bad angle. Like, a rooster and then Elvis vibes. It's like, that's not a bad take, especially for animation. That's actually really smart. I think the movie just has different problems. We're getting a little celestial up in here.
Kind of like how American Tail started. And look, Ireland.
Well, I mean, for
Happy belated St. Patrick's Day.
Ah, yes, happy St. Patty's Day. Yes, that was yesterday, as of the recording. But I'll say this, yeah, it is kind of similar to an American Tail where it opens up with the whole, now ROCK-A-DOODLE, our title, is like where an American Tail opens up with snow, this opens up in space, because American Tail opens up in Russia, and then this movie opens up about, well, the rooster's crow bringing up the sun, as Phil Harris is about to pontificate to us in just a moment here.
Yeah. Phil Harris, this was his last film.
God rest his soul.
You guys know him as Baloo / Little John / Abraham DeLacy, Giuseppe Casey.
Thomas O'Malley, the alley cat.
And not the only Disney veteran in this movie.
Yeah, there's actually plenty of former Disney performers in this.
Now, see, the narration's kind of appropriate at this moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And down we go.
I like this showing the sun kind of shooting to this one spot on the earth.
Yeah. And
Okay,
this is some
good.
pretty early CGI. It actually done really well. I think it integrates really well. And here's our opening number. And our...
They really did. They really got the Elvis vibe.
Oh, yeah.
That always bothered me. Wait, big old widow rain crowd? That doesn't make any sense. Big old little?
Yeah. Oh, my biggest problem right
No.
here. No, yeah.
Let us hear the song, people.
Yeah, no, this is a big problem. This is like Chanticleer's introduction and our setup for the story.
Like, we can hear this part. Come on.
We get that Daddy taught me how to sing. It's like, okay, that's great, but what else are you saying? It's like, I can't make it out.
And all the girls are pecking after him.
And then, almost as if that narration was completely useless. That's me. I'm tying my shoes. What are you doing? Trying to tie my shoes.
Ew, man.
It's like, I'm trying to ignore the narration and trying to hear the song. Hello, Ned from Bueno Nacho.
Mandark.
Mandark. Do love the little squirrel character. I'm sure there were more lyrics that helped develop things at least a little bit, but the song could have done with better lyrics, sure, but it would also be better if I could hear the lyrics so I could actually make a comment on what could have been better in the lyrics, which I'll actually get to one of those songs later. Bum bum bum.
There's some serious awkward cuts here.
Yeah. And of course, like, I'm gonna get up in a cockfight with some really odd cuts. And again, talking over like he's got fucking shanks on his fucking. Good lord. And he's telling us about this Grand Duke.
Which the mom already tells about us later, so we don't need to exactly hear that.
And it's like, there was probably something in the dialogue from the punk that would have given us a hint as to who's behind this plot. It's like Land Before Time didn't feel the need to like spell everything out like this. The fucking like American Tail didn't feel the need to fucking overstating. It's overstating. It's showing and telling, but emphasis on the telling, you know? It was like way too much emphasis on the telling. And here he is.
That sound effect.
That's a nice. Yes, I love that little detail. I caught that when the Duke actually like takes off the monocle later. It's like that's
see,
funny.
Look, the mom already explains here.
Yeah. Again, in fact, she was probably the initial narrator, like at the beginning. Right? Think about it. Like without Phil Harris at the front, what if she was the one who was like Once Upon a Time? You know? And why the fuck is Patu whispering this line? Nobody can hear you except for us, dude. I feel like that's probably the silliest thing in this whole thing. Is that he's whispering just in case Mom hears him. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you on about? I think the thing that probably confused the audiences most was the book coming to life. But I don't know, that feels pretty straightforward to me.
You know, it's like one of those Wizard of Oz situations. Like, was it real? Was it?
And at least in this case, because it's animated, it even further actually doesn't matter whether it's a dream or not. Proving it by reading a book all by himself. And this is where his imagination starts to run wild, no doubt. Yeah, look, he puts on the little raccoon cap there. So, I think that's probably an early design of the character, actually, on that page. 'Cause that did not look like, that didn't look entirely like Chanticleer. Like, his legs aren't, like, really as short as they are in his final design. He's not wearing the same outfit. And I like how the tree looks like a hand or like a talon. Like that's actually really clever, like prop and set design there. That's actually really nice. But again, we didn't need you interjecting, Patu. We can see what's going on, and from this point, I think we could almost assume. Bum bum bum. And hello, Christopher Plummer.
Rest in peace, man.
Yep.
Wasn't it on your other side?
It's like, wasn't the monocle on the other side of your face? I don't know what you're talking about. I absolutely, and here's one of the things I really like about this movie is Christopher Plummer is having so much fun as the villain. And the thing is, we don't need the narrator. He is doing blatant exposition right now. Which also fits because he's, like, a really, like, theatrical villain, and he's, like, you know.
They really do shade him really well.
I mean, let's be fair. Don Bluth was like the animation director for Pete's Dragon, so he is familiar with putting an animated character in a real world environment. Just because
we got that already, man.
Yeah, I think we picked up on that. Honey, this is exactly how I felt about the guy introducing every Fantasia segment. And I'm talking about the original Fantasia. This is exactly how I felt. You will now know my pain.
I do not envy the people who had to pretty much draw over this photograph here.
Honestly, it's a really good transition, though.
Yeah.
And again, if you actually... Yes, Squad. Yes, Scribe. But again, if you actually watch the lips... Yes! We saw you! Why did... it's so needless. It's like if you watch the lip sync, he is saying, "I'm all furry." And even like Patu's, and even Patu's follow-up line makes more sense if that's what Edmund said, which it is.
I know. I always heard "I'm all furry."
And I think it's Doug Unfunny Nostalgia Critic Walker's fault that people misheard that line. It is all his fault. That's not the line, Scribe. Seriously, just watch his lips. Watch for the tongue. You can see his tongue go up before his teeth close.
It's all people.
It's like, of course you are. You're a cat. Yep. And then you got Patu being like, now of course Edmund wasn't very happy that he turned into a cat. Now Edmund was rather embarrassed, so he hid behind the mirror and got himself dressed up in a doll's clothes.
Yeah, and just like with Bible, he's got the oversized sleeves and an ill-fitting cap.
Actually, I think that hat fits better than anything else on him.
Okay, you're right, but you know, like.
But yeah, the shirt is too big. Yeah.
With the oversized sleeves, yeah. And hello, Sandy Duncan.
Yeah. Now, she is pretty cute. Again, this ragtag group is pretty fun. I get pretty annoyed by Patu, but that's only when he's narrating. Just imagine if Patu was narrating all of this. Again. Oh. It was like... Love the little scared animation on the pig. And again, that also felt like it had some weirdly odd cuts, didn't it? It felt a little weird. Like it moved, like it went a little too quick. Now that's saying something, because Don Bluth does have a few Dragon's Lair-esque segments in this film.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently Mandork didn't watch this movie in full. He didn't like the role. Yeah. I don't blame him, actually.
You know, it's really interesting.
Oh, damn, man.
That's a really nice spin on it. I like her. I like Little Mouse. She's definitely a very fun little character. Even the squirrel's all sheepish about it. Yep. Yeah, he like Edmund does go through a little bit of an arc in this film. Yep. I'm sorry, Chanticleer or Chanticleer? I feel like they say it both ways intermittently in this film. And I know sometimes I do that, where I take a character's name or like a place or a word and pronounce it properly and improperly, just in two different ways, like potato potato kind of thing. But you'd think the fictional characters would be more consistent about it. Chanticleer or Chanticleer? I'm gonna say Chanticleer because it's like chanting or shanty, you know, like he sings, you know. And now, in spite of the narration here, the song is not interrupted. The first song that's not interrupted in this whole movie is one of the villain songs.
Okay, we get it. The Duke and his Owls. We can see that, man.
Mm-hmm. And we'll be demonstrating that in just a moment, how wicked they are.
Maybe the test audiences just had very terrible media literacy.
Maybe the test audiences were all like 4 years old and didn't really understand, you know, complex narrative devices.
Maybe they should have stuck going for the PG rating.
Perhaps they should have. Yeah. I love how we keep like building here. Mm-hmm. And this line right here is like, that much we know. That's like, what kind of a mindless lyric is that? I feel like there's a lot of rhymes with crow and so and go and low. It's like, there's like plenty of alternatives that they could have gone with. That much we know is just, it doesn't tell me anything. It's like, yes, you know. Why don't you tell me why I should care?
And this guy's been in a bunch of Don Bluth movies.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what this actor's name is. But yes, you're right, Ryder. Like the song, the villain's number here was really good. In fact, I'd say the villain songs are the best songs in this movie, mostly because they go like uninterrupted by any narration, and they feel the most fleshed out because they're uninterrupted by narration. Oh my God! Shut up. Yes, we're on a river.
Charles Nelson Riley.
Oh?
Charles Nelson Riley.
Oh, that's right. Charles Nelson Riley. You're right.
Yeah.
God rest his soul.
All dogs go to hell.
Yep.
In Central Park. He's been in about as many Don Bluth movies, almost as much as Tom DeLuise, I think.
And sometimes they both show up in the same film. Don DeLuise is not in this one. Between Patou and Fantasia announcer, who bugs you more? Oh man, the Fantasia announcer like drags on. I love the Ride of the Valkyries bit there. The Fantasia announcer goes on delaying the short and explaining all of it before it starts. But Patou is talking over important story beats. So honestly, Patou is worse. But the Fantasia announcer bugs me more. Still, like...
We say as we're talking over the scene.
Well, at least we're providing commentary is what, like... As you always point out whenever there's, like, a mask used. Like, they have to black out.
And this is the movie that taught me the word aqueduct.
Oh, yeah. I love the way he gets the word wrong here is really funny. Like, there's a... like, that's a good gag. That's funny.
Dude, stop!
It's so funny. He referred to himself as a magpie earlier, but he's doing a woodpecker thing.
Maybe he's half woodpecker.
Somebody get me on the math on that. Is like, are woodpeckers and magpies any relation?
No wonder he hated this character. Dude, stop! You're making it worse. It's like some kids. It's like some of the kids in my swim lessons that, you know, they're scared and then they end up running or kicking or thrashing and just making it worse.
Honestly, that's one of the things I like about this character is like, honestly, it kind of feeds into Edmund's arc, you know, about like, still like doing what's necessary even when you're scared. It's like how his like whole arc kind of goes. Some people are...
Oh, making me anxious here.
Well, it's not about the claustrophobia, writer. It's about the fact that he keeps poking holes in the chest. Like, I get that he's stressed. I like that. That's a good demonstration of his character. We're going over a huge waterfall. Sharp rocks at the bottom. Or I guess a metal chain link fence. Welcome to the sewer. And that's definitely a demonstration of him being a magpie. All the shinies. It literally just hit me with that magpie character's design. Is that you may not think much from the rest of the costume, but he does have the gloves on. Okay. When other birds
there's a deleted
don't.
Scene here where he was baking a baby skunk into a pie.
Yes, and
the reason it was cut is because I forget the name of the thing, but like something about the national child abuse thing.
You can actually see the skunk in the pie just there. They basically cut the bits before his head
but they were
out.
saying like that most child abuse situations happen in the kitchen. So yeah.
Well, see, and that doesn't feel like too much of an awkward cut, unlike other things in this film. Yep, I love this exchange. It's actually really, really fun. I love that. Again, like their exchanges. The uncle-nephew like dynamic here is very funny. Adequate Pipes is the band name for this stream. Been a while since we had one of those. Oh, the Adequate Pipes. You could do that for a barbershop group. And the sunglasses. Why the Duke and his other lackeys don't decide to wear sunglasses instead of pissing and moaning about the sun, who knows? And who cares? Then again, it is nighttime, so the sunglasses are really just for the city lights. Usually you'd look in the phone book by last name, I presume. So everyone's listed by last name. So you should be
Yeah,
looking
but
under.
maybe it's like Cher. It's his name, you know? Or
Yeah,
Madonna.
but you could... Oh no! And the narration that he's giving is basically, like, from what I can make out, is when Chanticleer is singing. It's like, this is kind of a Can You Feel the Love Tonight situation, where it's, or like, something there that wasn't there before, where it's like, we're not seeing the character sing, but it's obviously them singing their feelings and emotions at this point. And it's like, this is important! Oh. And the thing is, I can't make out the words, and the song's already over. It's such a
Yeah,
short...
you're right. We could have very well got what was happening there.
And we also could have, like, understood, like, Chanticleer's feelings about things, because it's him singing. It's like, But it's like...
This is me learning to tie my shoes. It took a while for me.
Everyone runs at their own pace and learning things and figuring stuff out. I guess Charles No Survivor is also a lot of fun. He has a fucking switchblade. Like, good lord. Actually, it's more of a Swiss Army knife or something like... Or, no, what is it called when you got all those tools? Is it a Swiss Army knife? Yeah. Yep. That sounded like a Thomas O'Malley type line, didn't it?
Ah, stop!
Ah! At least, one of the only songs that Patou doesn't interrupt, and it's just, and it's not demonstrating his emotions. This is something that can be done in plenty of musicals, is that some songs are performances in universe. Okay, never mind, I spoke too soon. God damn it. Stop it. I also always gotta love whenever, like, animated characters, like, whether it's, like Jessica Rabbit or something similar, whenever they do the sequins on the costumes, like, is a lot of fun. It's a nice, fun little effect. Yeah, I can see it on her face!
And apparently she had a bigger bust. Like Jessica Rabbit size bust.
Seriously. Bigger than what she ends up having?
Yes, yes. They censored it. And this is Ellen Green.
Oh, yes, Audrey in
and,
Little Shop of Horrors.
And Pat Buttram, yeah.
Yeah.
It was also in Robin Hood.
Oh,
And
good
Aristocats.
lord. And of course, it's Phil Harris as the narrator.
I know.
Well, if he's gonna keep repeating what's happening on screen, then I'm gonna do it too!
But now Pat Buttram is the fox.
Yeah. See, we didn't need Patou's narration! There's already plenty of exposition in this scene! And I want to point out, like, that's really funny, because, like, we do end up seeing her without all the feathers on, so, like,
Yeah.
How did that look before?
I don't know. Maybe if you look at one of the original trailers.
Well, maybe that'd be something to look for. And here's another...
Yeah.
This is a simple little ensemble number for the bouncers. Not very nice. I like the alliteration there.
Get it, bouncers?
Yep. And it's being interrupted again. I mean, I'll be fair. At least the song was basically over. But basically over is not exactly over. So honestly, just why?
Yeah. Also, the live action model for Goldie is the same one that was used for Thumbelina.
That makes sense. And in some parts, much like Thumbelina, it does look like they've actually rotoscoped her. Very, very well done,
Also,
though.
Don Bluth really loves the giant ponytails, apparently.
I really do like his coxcomb and his side feathers being dyed for the Elvis and the sideburns and the pompadour.
See, we got the loneliness right here.
Yep. Just look at him. He's being babied literally to the point where he's just sat in his cushy little cushion, sucking his own thumb feather thing. Birds sucking their thumb always looks a little weird. Now that's just blatant manipulation. Meanwhile, back on the farm, it's like, yeah, I figured when we were back in the flooded area. Just, come on. Collect call waiting? What do you want to call it? I do love that line, sorry ma'am, when he's on the fucking, like, sewing dummy. Is that what it is? A relative of mine was a bodyguard to a famous rapper. Oh, that's neat. And now the best character in the movie is back again. And about time too. Oh god, I love the Duke. The Duke is great. Duke is literally the reason to watch this movie. Love that phrasing. And love this. Yeah, this is great.
They're going with the Dracula angle with these guys.
Yep. I also love,
over the top Dracula.
I also love the twiddly dee for like their birds. I actually like that. That's actually really, and it's also like it's just how foppish and Broadway the Duke is. It's like he just has this, playful vibe. You know? I absolutely love this. And we didn't get Patu narrating this fact to us. We just got it shown to us. It was this great little detail right here. Props for making a silly line like running out of batteries sound menacing. That's the skill. That's the skill of like the songwriter, I suppose. I imagine this is probably how some people who had never heard of Cuphead, watching the Cuphead show and then seeing King Dice hook up the devil on the phone, is like he's his boss. It's like, holy shit, It's like, oh my god, wait, so the Duke is orchestrating this whole thing. He sent the punk after Chanticleer, and he's got Pinky, like, roping Chanticleer into, like, an exclusive contract for the rest of his life. Like, that's diabolical, honestly. And he would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for those meddling friends.
Yeah, but aren't penguins birds?
I mean, if you look at the rest of the crowd, though, it's a black and white tuxedo affair. So that's why it has to be penguins. It was like, it was almost like I thought the penguins were gonna be like the wait staff, but then we got like a rhinoceros. And this like rhinoceros like looking like he came right out of like Robin Hood, which I think Bluth was an animator on that film actually. It's like Don Bluth's like first like uncredited, but his first role at Disney was like an in-between artist, like all the way back for Sleeping Beauty. So yeah, I think he would have worked on Robin Hood because he only left around, what was it? Fox and the Hound. That's right. It's like even when Patou's narrating isn't interrupting the song, sometimes the song is just being interrupted. And the thing is, in a subtle way, I think this song is actually informing us of Chanticleer, like in a little stealth way. It's like,
yeah, looking for honey,
where he's looking for the love that he like lost from his friends who made fun of him, right? And there's one of the bouncers again. It's like anything that could make him happy if he could find the treasure that he just seems to elude him.
Yeah, you can see the Thumbelina in her movements.
Yeah. Yeah. Watch her as she dances onto the stage. Definitely rotoscoped. And and again, like, I think Don Bluth's rotoscoping is actually really, really good. Like, you think of something like the oldest rotoscoping, like even like Snow White. Wasn't really that great. Cinderella was better, but I think Don Bluth really does work within the cartoon design as well, and never sacrifices the cartoon design when rotoscoping the characters' animation.
Man don't even know what's going on behind him.
Yep. I love the celluloid drop shadow you can see right behind his hair. Yep. It's like, when used well, rotoscoping can really have... Oh, I can actually see it! They didn't actually, like, reduce her breast size. You can actually see the celluloid drop shadow of the feathers. They had to just lay another piece of celluloid on top. So when we actually see her bust later, in a couple of different costumes, that's probably just what it looked like originally. Either that, or they weren't finished with the animation and they were able to go in before ink and paint.
I love this song. I hate that it's talked over.
I know, because this is the love duet. Ah, Patou! It's what's worse is
Listen to the sound version on phone.
I really need to, because like hearing Goldie's lines helps inform me of her character. Like I connect better with Goldie than I do Chanticleer because her song part is not spoken over. Like you get to hear her feelings.
Look at the way they're interacting with each other. Also, that is making me very agoraphobic. No, not agora. Acrophobic. Yeah.
I see. It's making me a little dizzy, actually. Yes, she's going to sing that fact, Patou. You didn't have to tell me she was falling in love. She's gonna say it right now.
And her face looks Russian.
And the thing is that I'm still missing part of it because of the fact that her lyric is a response to whatever it was Chanticleer was singing, and I didn't get to hear that.
Yeah, listen to the soundtrack version later.
I'd have to. It's like the little bit of the lyrics that I can actually hear are informing me of her character, and so I connect to her a lot better than Chanticleer is like, no, I guess I don't know what it really means to you. Because they're just talking over your song! Oh, Thumbelina, I was way too hard on you. You're far, far better at a musical than this. It hurts so bad. It's like I only really spotted it in the last scene. You have to look carefully to see that it's a new piece of celluloid that they animated on top for her feathers. And it's like, I think it just goes to prove like just how well done this sort of thing can be done. I imagine all they really had to do was give the animators like back the paper, and then they draw the feather parts over, like maybe in a different color of pencil lead or whatever.
Yeah, somebody out there, like, you know, put the soundtrack of this song over the scene, and, you know, honestly, without the narration, it works so much better.
Without the narration and without the characters just talking over it. Like, why did we leave the romantic moment? See, Goldie's got a last name. She's not a pheasant, but she has a last name.
What do you mean she's not a pheasant?
She's a chicken.
According to who?
According to her character design, does that look like a pheasant to you? Looks like a chicken to me.
Yes. Look at her. Look at her feathers.
Well,
Her feathers in the back.
Maybe it's really
That's
hard.
a pheasant's tail.
So I guess Chanticleer's last name would be Rooster. But like they said,
Yeah,
his
look at
name
old Jessica Rabbit here, girl.
But yeah, you see, like, again, it's like,
Dressing room.
you know, the way I'm looking at this, it almost seems like they put the feathers on her on both the top and the bottom for the rest of the movie. And did they not cover her up in this moment because they didn't want to ruin their sequins bit? Which, honestly, probably exactly why. Because she didn't have sequins on in the previous scenes.
Now see, she's got a pheasant's tail.
Okay.
Of course, when they're anthropomorphized, they look a little different.
Are you kidding? She's basically a woman with a beak. That's what I said. Those two just cannot get along. Yep. She's getting the guilt. A massive onset of guilt. Yep. Again, a lot of the characters are reinforcing everything. We don't need you yammering, Petu! Yes, Petu, I found this guy's antics very funny throughout the movie. Why did you feel the need to iterate that fact? It almost makes me question it. Hey, listen, it's a musical moment that isn't being interrupted by Petu's narration. Hooray! Why is it always the villains? I mean, like, Phil Harris is bad as the character, it's just the narration is needless and exhaustive, and well, I could go on.
Only in cartoons can this happen. Whoa!
Yeah.
Number of times he's almost decapitated.
Were Siegfried and Roy doing Vegas things at this time? Because I'm thinking that White Tiger might be a reference. Because otherwise, why a white tiger as your fur rug?
Oof.
Blatant sexism. Just look at where she pulled that out from. It's probably why they stopped putting the feathers on her. That is the extra feathers. Yeah, this is probably... Actually, you know what I do see is there was probably a line in the middle that they painted over. So look at that. It's like you can see, like, there's another line for, like, her boob, like, behind the outfit that's, like, missing.
Or maybe it was their cleavage that they censored.
That seems to be the case. But part of that cleavage...
But then they can look more like feathers.
Oh, there it is!
Oh,
there it is! They let one slip. Yep.
Man,
and the feathers on her costume earlier were the cover-up they did in those scenes. Yeah.
I love how he immediately sees it wasn't Goldie's fault.
I also do appreciate that in terms of the miscommunication in this moment, just a brief one, is I do appreciate... That's a good line. Like, that's a really good line. That's blackmail. That's showbiz. Like, that's really good.
Yeah, you appreciate that the miscommunication last too long.
And... yeah, but what I mean is, like, how it almost feels like Chanticleer is still mad at her in the next moment. But then it comes to that, like, maybe he is still a little bit, but not really why he says what he says. Rube Goldberg would be proud.
Oh, jeez. Oh, well. Damn.
Well, that took care of itself. Again, it's like, it seems like he's still mad, but he's not.
King Gone Man.
Well, now look at the little sharp teeth. Which some birds do have teeth, by the way.
Why did they leave that open? They're filming.
Maybe they wanted a little bit of the noise coming from outside for the scene that's supposed to be outdoors. I don't know. But also the actual reason is because they needed a getaway. Ah, shit. Yep. Yep. But I mean, look, I mean, his tail and her tail don't look too different. I mean, yeah, he's a rooster, but, like... You can definitely understand my confusion, though.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Be very quiet. We're making a getaway. What? You see, no amount of censoring, like, the cleavage line is going to make her animations look less, like, sultry, you know? It's when you intentionally draw a character posed like that. You know, it's just, that's what you're gonna end up with. And off they go.
I love how half the time we're talking about her cleavage.
I mean, it came up naturally in the conversation.
Yes.
You kind of should if you're driving. And here he comes again. He's always got a... And that does look pretty precarious. Yeah. this is a pretty tense moment. Yep. He's big enough to help. He's a big boy. I also love the assumption of her being dead. It has her with like in a prayer pose and a veil. Like, that's really clever a little bit. I honestly really like that. Like, that's a really good visualization of that moment. Honestly. And apparently that moment wasn't confusing. Can you imagine if Patu had to narrate that one? Grant some credit there. I'm still not fully sure what her name was supposed to be.
Peepers.
Peepers.
Like the glasses.
Oh, that makes sense.
But that kid is apparently very bad at pronouncing stuff.
Okay, that sounded like it was ADR because that audio sounded a little cleaner. Like, what, did you really need to say that about your shoes? We saw them fall. So even when it's not, so even if, look, so whether it's Patu or just a random ADR line after the fact, they're overstating things that don't need to be overstated. The other reason that line stuck out to me is like, like, Goldie didn't strike, I mean, sure she was jealous of, like, Chanticleer getting all the spotlight and being stuck in the chorus, but she didn't strike me as terribly materialistic, you know? Like she would give a shit about her shoes falling. So it was either demonstrating something about her character that felt a little off, or... Yeah.
Or she's a shoe gal. Leaving the city come again.
Yeah, I love that sign. Here they come again.
Okay, this is always creepy. This was creepy as a kid.
Yeah.
Still is.
I love that. I love this. This is actually great. I also love that. It's like the evil version of Be Our Guest. That's really good. That's actually a really good way of putting it, Squad. It's like the villains get 3 songs. They're pretty short, but they're good. You know, they're actually really well done. They portray a lot of personality for these guys. And there's her cleavage again.
Okay, we gotta stop hyper-focusing on that.
Hey, if they forgot to paint over it, I guess I'm free to comment on it. Look at the way she held herself when she smacked him. Was there a cut shot? Was there something that they cut?
Like I said, they based her off of Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah. She was also basically like a bird version of Princess Daphne from Dragon's Lair.
Save me! Yeah, I saw this. I saw the clips for that.
Yeah. And down she goes. Farewell, helicopter.
Scrape's like, don't comment on it too much, dude. Yeah, and they'll start to worry about you.
You can see the water having, like, already kind of cleared the sideburns. It's like it's washing off the dye. Now it's dripping off his little red comb.
Yeah, it's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, now Glenn Campbell
Yep.
was an actual country singer, so
True. And the thing is, like, if you
Probably why
listen
it's
to,
thinking
like,
so.
the intentional crack on the cockadoodles, it's like, it's more equivocal as, like, oh, he can sing, but he's kind of lost his knack for yodeling, in a way, you know? God, I just love this guy. His animations are all a highlight. His twisted magic is a lot of fun. Yeah. And now, like, he's
Oof.
just, like,
this is brutal, actually.
yeah, and you can even see, like, how his eyes have just, like, gone full monster eyes. Full, like, lizard, cat eye kind of look. Just kind of the wicked slit. You can see him breathing. I do love this moment.
Yeah,
It's
the
like-
Phil Harris growl there.
Everyone. It's like, we'll save Tinkerbell if we all clap. But it's a good moment. It's a really good moment. Really good beat in the story. And here he goes, continuing to use his wicked powers.
Yes, I do believe in fairies. I do.
And we got another Talon branch. Yep.
Oof. That's probably gonna be waterlogged here.
Here he goes. The only thing that could combat the Duke's magic. All he had to do was believe in himself. And down he goes. And this is a nice little exchange here. Again, they've had the best, like, back and forth. Yep.
It's like payback time, man.
Off he goes. And the sun returns.
It's still a much more straightforward plotline than last week's movie. Just saying.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Straight A to B plot.
No. The Duke defeated and his magic gall gone. It's like what you thought. He was making that up. And this transition from Peeper's voice to the mom. You see, they brought in a fog.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
They brought in a fog machine and like the steam from like the tub over there to give like the idea of waking up from a dream, which is like. Am I dead? Oh my god. My lord.
She does look cute in that.
Yep. I think it's big old Weddle rain cloud, which is definitely a weird line.
Very awkward green screen. And look, they had kids. Look, they had kids, and they're cute.
Yeah.
Like blinking them, you miss them, kid. You better show.
But yeah. It's so interesting. A movie that centers around the rooster crowing and the music. They put... The only music that they put emphasis on is the villains who don't want the sun to come up. It's just so funny. Or at the very least, or at the very least, it feels like more emphasis is put on that simply due to the fact that they talk over or narrate over pretty much every other song.
Oh, sorry, I got the actor for Pinky wrong. My bad. Okay, I got the actor for Pinky wrong. It's Sorrel Book.
Starts with a cockfight and then he finds a chick.
Yeah, sorry guys, I forgot to fact check.
And now we gotta.
Yeah, he sounded like that, Petro. Oh, that's who he was. Okay. You ever seen Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers?
Nah, I don't think so.
Well, never mind. Well, I know the voice. But I was wrong. I got the voice wrong.
And they got a nice little song for Phil Harris about. It's like.
Oh, here's a okay, an underrated gem held down by executive meddling. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
What is a description of this movie?
Yeah, someone's review. Underrated gem held down by executive meddling. Yep, that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah. I was like, I feel like this film would at least be on par with Thumbelina if it weren't for all that needless narration and all those cuts. It's like, yeah, I can probably see, like, the concerns over, oh, the skunk being baked into a pie in, like, some sensitivity groups. But it's like, it's also an owl eating, like, a smaller animal like it does in real life. So, I don't know, man. Like, I think I'd give it a pass, you know?
Okay. Okay, so, well, apparently you can still find the deleted scene somewhere. I mean, mostly fully animated, but like the voice acting for the skunk is like just a temp dialogue.
Just a temp track, yeah.
So it'll sound weird.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason it was deleted, it was a complaint from Goldcrest marketing representative that most cases of child abuse happen in the kitchen and involve baking instruments. So that's why.
And that is odd, and that is very oddly specific to how they decided to depict, like, the Duke trying to eat a little critter, which he fails to do anyway, so. In fact, if it were me, my censorship and fixing of it would be, having the, like, actually animating a new segment of the, animating a new shot of the skunk getting away. Instead of removing things from the film, just add to the film. Like, I feel like, fixing things by removing things is not necessarily the way you want to do it, especially when you've already spent the time and effort to put the pieces together in the first place, you know?
Yeah, I should let you know this credits is about 9 minutes and 45 seconds long, so
Yeah.
How long do you want to be on this?
Well, that was, Oh, there were two references for Goldie. And the actors. We got Sorrel Book as Pinky, Glenn Campbell as Chanticleer, Stan Everett's dad, and Christopher Plummer's the Duke. But anyway, Sun Do Shine, it's like, Tweedledee TD. Sink or Swim, Kiss and Coo, Back to the Country, The Owl's Picnic, Tie in Your Shoes. Again, like, there's some good songs. There's some good songs in here. They're not...
but like you said, they are washed out by the narration. And, go find someone on YouTube made Kiss and Coo with the soundtrack and the animation, and God, it works so much better.
When you have the romantic duet and you have the romantic ballad for the couple in your movie, and now a third background color to delineate the live action segments as a credit. Okay, that's fine. But
okay, maybe maybe we'll look at it together later, because love song.
Yeah. But, like, I'm just absolutely baffled by the idea. The writer says, it's I love it, but others don't film. That's entirely fair.
Yeah. True.
And I buy it, Ryder, you know? Like, there is, like, there is a pretty solid, made for really, 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 really young kids, but still solid, like, a solid Don Bluth film. Like, it's not perfect. No movie is. I had a few hang-ups with All Dogs Go to Heaven, but, like, ultimately that film had, like, a little more maturity, but that doesn't necessarily make that, but, you know, a mature film does not necessarily make a, you know, a quality film. But it's like, All Dogs Go to Heaven definitely leagues better than this, and it's in its musical moments you understand, like when he goes to paradise, the song "Let Me Be Surprised" and the back and forth between him and the angel, that is such a great, like, musical moment. But, like, for this film, and maybe most of the songs that were being talked over are like, aren't even that great. You know, like, maybe their lyrics are pretty shoddy, you know, and slipshod, you know. Like, I did point out there was one really lyric in the Owls, like, first song, but even that was just one lyric out of, like, a full song, out of a very full, like, little number that was great. It was fun, it was cute, and I loved how absolutely corny and almost, like, childish in their delight they were. It's like, oh, these old men are, like, singing things like twiddle-dee-dee, you know. It's like, oh, they're such, like, they're like a kid in a candy store. Emphasis on the kid. And, you know, that's not a bad thing. It just helps, like, give such a personality to them. And I can't stop grinning like an idiot, but I love the Owls. They're so good. They're so much fun. Like, they're the best characters in the whole thing. All in all, everyone's, like, a great... I mean, for fuck's sake, Goldie was played by the original Audrey. And I'm also talking, like, on stage original Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors. Like, she was on the stage and in the movie. And, like, so, like, obviously, and Phil Harris was, like we said, he was Blue and O'Malley. And Little John also had a song. So, like, yeah, it's like, you got great singers on this. You got a great animation team, but then
the executives ruined it.
Yeah, the executives and the test audiences didn't respond well to it. And it's like, what are you gonna do after that? You know? It's like, there's only so much that you can do to end up, like...
Okay, do we need to talk for the whole credits? Because this is a very long credit sequence. Like, I mean, can we... Oh, there we go.
Yep,
Finally.
Almost. Yep, they're at the end. It's
yeah,
like,
but, you know, I still kind of take some enjoyment in it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I had fun with this.
Yeah.
Were there things that ticked me off? Oh, most definitely. But, like, but, like, I think Ryder pretty much summed it up. Like, the fun bits outweighed all the fucked up bits, you know? Like, the stuff that was good was really good. And the stuff that was not so good didn't necessarily detract from that. And that's why I say when the question was asked earlier, the Fantasia announcer is still worse. Significantly worse than Patu, because he literally just delays, he not only explains everything and spoils the whole short that we're about to see, but he basically delays us watching the short.
Yes.
But
As you've told us in maybe like 10 different streams now.
Well, I can't help it. It was really bad. But anyway, this was actually kind of good. And, you know, I liked it. Anything else you want to add to that?
No. And, you know, despite its flaws, it's still kind of fun. You know, actually, I think I enjoy it more as an adult than I did as a kid.
Probably because you're able to make more sense of things. Like, oh yeah, obviously Edmund's, like, you know, experiencing, like, a moment of panic amidst this, like, nightmare within the dream. It was like, again, like, okay, when I say it like that, it sounds stupid, but, like, he was just going through a moment of fear, like a real lapse of fear, like, for a moment, and, like, visualizing everything in his mind's eye as, like, just the most horrible version of itself. And it's like, that's perfectly understandable. And also why, like, Chanticleer was like, he had to fight through all the negative thoughts, and that's why we heard everyone's dialogue come back. And holy shit, I have a sign on the door! So I guess I guess I gotta go into the door. Thank you all so much for joining us on this absolutely whacked out adventure. And if you're viewing this after the fact, thanks for watching. Until next time, remember to take care, stay safe, and be kind in all that you do. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.